Oh man, I'm glad you showed up. No, seriously. What's the point of making a video if you don't? Right? I'm John Zidar. This is On Top and Hot, where we like to talk about hot penny stocks. So if that's not what you're looking for, today is Wednesday. It's February 19th. Now, I'm a day trader, and I primarily trade stocks under $5. And I'm always looking for one that has heat, has potential to make us some money. And I've got one I want to share with you today. This is ticker BHAT, BHAT. This is Blue Hat Interactive Entertainment Technology. Came onto my radar today because someone brought it onto the Pennybois page. Pennybois Discord is where I work, right? I'm over there trading every day with the general public. You can trade with me if you like. There's a link down below. It says this is the Pennybois link. Click that. Come on in. We're trading in there. You can bring in hot charts. I bring in hot charts. Somebody brought in BHAT. I looked at the short charts and I glanced at the long charts, which I normally don't do when you're scalping. Boy, am I glad I did. We've got ourselves a hot breakout chart on the 4-hour chart. It is that atypical breakout, a 200 squeeze. You got the 200-day MA falling, the 200 haul climbing. The price is in the middle, and if you can get the price on top of the 50-day MA, it will shoot, folks. Well, it is right up underneath that 50-day MA right now, and I think tomorrow she's probably going to get right on it and burst. Now, all we need is a catalyst, and it doesn't even have to be fresh. We've got a hot catalyst that came out at the end of January, and I'm going to share that with you, as well as the bad news. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, folks, but I don't think we have a problem. BHAT is a Chinese company, though you won't see the word China or Chinese anywhere on this page. The way I knew is the area code. We have a 1 for America. China has an area code of 86. This Chinese company finished the day at 6.2 cents, and she was up a little over 14% today. Now, this is a penny stock on the major exchange, which comes with benefits compared to those penny stocks on the OTC market. First off, all of your transactions are free. You can buy and sell your shares, not pay them anything. You get to trade pre-market, aftermarket. Never get to do that with OTC. There's a lot more money and a lot more volume up on the major exchange, which is definitely something you want. And there's a lot more rules up there for the company to keep them honest. We want those too. That's good for our investments. And speaking about rules, this company is currently out of compliance with the minimum bid price requirement. They got minimum requirements for a lot of things, including the price. You can't go under $1 and stay under $1 for too long. If you do, you get a warning. They're told they got to get their price up over $1, stay closed over $1 for 10 consecutive days. If they do that, they're out of hot water. If they don't, they either have to do a reverse stock split and force that price up or get thrown down to the OTC. And we're going to go through all of those details here in just a minute. So what is Blue Hat Interactive all about? Well, that's a darn good question, because what they were doing, they're not doing anymore. Blue Hat was formerly a provider of communication services, as well as a producer, developer, and operator of augmented reality interactive entertainment games, toys, and educational materials in China. Leveraging years of technological accumulation and unique patented technology, Blue Hat is now expanding its business to commodity trading. They're going from toys to commodity trading, and they say it's a good transition. Aiming to become a leading intelligent commodity trader worldwide. And I'll tell you right now, they are primarily focusing in on gold and gems. Let's dive into some news, get a little more information about what's going on with the company. They've had 2 direct offerings this year, one for $4.4 million and one for $3.9 million, which gives them just a little over $8 million. Now, this isn't a public offering. It wasn't sold to us. This was sold to big investors who asked for these shares. Then we have the NASDAQ delisting notice. Let's get some details here. It was back in September of last year when they were originally notified that they had fallen under $1 for more than 30 days. And they were given a deadline of March 5th to get the price up over $1 for 10 consecutive days. Well, while we've been trying to do that without a lot of success, they made it worse. They fell under a dime, which is a whole nother rule. That's called the low price stock rule. They fell under a dime for more than 10 days. Now they're being threatened to be kicked off of the NASDAQ immediately unless they appeal it. They were given until January 31st to appeal it. If they did not appeal it, their stock would be pulled off the market February 4th. Well, it's still there, so I've got to presume the appeal got in. Well, an appeal is a hearing, and that takes 30 to 45 days to happen. And we get a stay of execution on the company. Nothing can happen to the company for 30 to 45 days, not until they have that hearing. So we're in a grace period right now, but they are in hot water. They tell us down here that they are considering approving a reverse stock split. Yeah, no kidding. Since we're talking about that, I'm just going to jump into the filing. We have a shareholders meeting that is going to be on February 28th at 9 p.m. local time. Local time is wherever their office is. That's their local time. We're voting on two things. One, we're going to increase the authorized share count. This is their bank where they keep all their shares. Right now, we have 500 million shares. They can put all those on the market if they want, or they can use them like cash and make deals with other companies. Well, they want to increase that from 500 million to 50 billion. 50 billion, folks. That's a little over the top as far as I'm concerned. That is concerning. The other thing they're voting on is a reverse stock split. Anywhere from 1 to 50 up to 1 to 100 to be used at management's discretion. So they are preparing for it. We can see that happening right now. Chances are they're going to have to use it. In 30 to 45 days, they could have the price up over $1. The price could really run tomorrow. I mean, I got some big news here to share with you, but I can't see it. So I think we're safe to get in, play this play, get our gains, get out. 30, 45 days from now, they have to do a reverse stock split. Well, they're going to do it without us. Last piece of news came out on the last day of January. Blue Hat announces the completion of its purchase of 1 ton of gold. I thought they were doing this like everybody's been taking their assets and putting it into Bitcoin. That is not what they're doing. Remember, commodities trading, they're working with gold, showcasing the effectiveness of their strategic plan. So where's that piece of news? There it is. Now, this is a really good piece of news. They've got a lot of information here that we could go through about their trading platform. They're making some strong headway. They're on the cusp of getting things going. They've got their licenses. Everything is looking good. But I don't want to focus in on that. I'll let you do that due diligence. What I want to focus in on is the big money. Money talks, right? So the company announced that they had purchased a ton of gold originally back in October of last year. And they just received it now. They finally closed the deal. When they made this deal, the price of gold was at $1,900, which is when they bought their 32,000 ounces. That's how many it takes to make a ton. When they received their gold, the value of the gold was at $2,780 an ounce. They originally paid $60 million for their ton of gold, basically paid half in cash and the other half in shares of stock. And they are worth over $85 million now. So they made $25 million just in that transaction alone. And this is their gold reserve for their commodity. So it is really big news, folks. And as I said, there's a lot of other things in here about them increasing their gold reserves even further, optimizing their supply chain, promoting technological innovation, achieving regulatory milestones. They are doing a lot. Right now is a great time to be looking at it because the chart is hot. After she runs, I don't know as I'm going to get anywhere near her until she has her reverse stock split, to be completely honest here. So let's take a look at the relative volume for the company. What did she do today? Ooh, she was hot. Over the last 30 days, she's been doing an average of about 111 million shares a day. Today, she did about 460 million shares. That's up almost 400%. Share structure for BHAT. Well, that's not bad at all. I was expecting more shares than that. Outstanding share count, we are about 58 million. Insiders own something. Subtract that from the outstanding share count, and that's our float. But I don't know what they own, so I don't know what the float is. I do know, though, that the float can't be any higher than the outstanding share count, so it won't be any more than 58.3 million. And it could be considerably less, depending on how many shares the insiders own. Market cap for the company, we're currently at about 3.1 million. Financials, are they making any money? All right, honestly, I don't know the history of this ticker, so I don't know if this is all their revenues or not, but this is pretty radical. 4 years ago, we were at $24.5 million. We know that's millions because we got to add 3 zeros to any of the numbers on these charts. Dropped 50% in 2021, down to 12. Dropped to 2 million in 2022, and then exploded to 73 million in 2023. But look at the profit margin. They were making 50% back here, and what's this? 1 million for 73 million? Gold's worth more than that, isn't it? Quarterlies? We don't get any of those here, but we do get a balance sheet. Let's not forget those 3 zeros over here. Looks like their cash in the bank has been falling over the last few years. Right now, we've got about $500,000 in the bank. Total assets, they got about 50 million. Total liabilities, we're down there, 8.6 million. Whoa, yeah. Look at that, folks. We've got $40.5 million worth of stockholder equity. The company has got strong revenues. Profit isn't that great, but hey, they own a ton of gold, right? And this is all for a 6-cent stock. Looks pretty decent to me as a day trader. And let's take a look at these disclosures. We've got 3 6Ks here. One was that NASDAQ notice. One was about the reverse stock split. And one was about that news about that gold. And then we have an SC13GA here. These are good news because this is when a new investor buys so many shares, they become partner. They buy that many. Well, this one for some reason has a 0 in it. So I'm not too worried about that. So everything looks good over here, folks. We've got a company that's making strong revenues, even though the profit isn't that good. Stockholder equity is really good. Price isn't bad. Float's decent. And we've got a huge catalyst. They just made $25 million for virtually nothing. Just being patient, waiting for their gold to be delivered. And they're opening up a commodity trading platform, which they are close to getting going. You're going to want to do some more due diligence there. But now, we want to go look at that chart. Come on, let's go take a look. We're over here at my free trading platform, Thinkorswim. We've got ticker BHAT all ready to go, Blue Hat Interactive. Got her opened up to a 1-day, 1-year chart. Now, we got a lot of congestion down here, so let me get rid of all of these supports and resistances that we were using at Pennybois today. All right, a year ago, the price was underneath the 200-day MA, and she stayed there for 4 months, just bumping her head occasionally. Then in July, for some reason, she jumped to her 52-week high of $1.45. But she paid for it dearly, folks. For the next few months, she continued falling down and down until she came to about 10 cents. Had a bump here trying to get over the 50 with no luck. Continued falling down to a 52-week low of 3.5 cents. And she's been going sideways, waiting for something, who knows what. We can see we've got some heat coming into the picture, a green bar, green volume. All of our techs are starting to warm up and push up. Take a look at our 6-month, 4-hour view. Well, we got the same high bubble, $1.45. You can see once she came underneath that 200, she stayed there for quite a while. We did have a few pop-ups over it, but no way she was going to break out with the 200 falling like that. We expect her to come back underneath until the 200 goes flat. Well, what's that starting to do right now, folks? It's starting to go flat. What we have here, folks, is an atypical breakout. That was the name I gave it because nobody's ever given a name to it. I've changed the name now to something that seems more like what it is, a 200 squeeze. When we have the 200-day MA on the top and you have the 200 haul on the bottom and they're both coming together, they're squeezing the price, which is in the middle. When the price bounces off of the 200, sits on the 50, you can expect a launch. 8 out of 10 times you will see this launch. It will go to and through the 200. And it will run up a ways and then stop and fall back because it took a lot of power to get through that 200-day MA. It needs a rest. So it's normally going to pull back and bounce up and down, like in Celebration, on top of that 200. Well, when she gets over it, it's just going flat. When she stays over it, she is giving power to it and it'll start to turn up. At that point, we'll look for another run. So we've got an atypical breakout, and I found this earlier today. She was not yet over the 50. She was down here underneath it. Well, you can see after market, she is starting to run. She is already on top of her 50. The bottom of the bar is on top of it. She is primed and ready to go right now, folks. All of our oscillators are looking very good. Our PPO, which is a lot like your MACD, except it uses a percentage of the price, it's about ready to cross that line. It is definitely climbing. Our ADX, ooh, what a mess. Everything is changing right now. We've got everything in the center. Our green trend, which is the green line, that's the uptrend. The red one is your downtrend, and your yellow is strength. Whatever is up here at the top is dominant. Everything is in the middle right now, trying to determine where it's going to go. Our MACD looks like it is also starting to climb. Sure is. We just had a positive crossover, and it is about ready to go over the floor right here. Green bars coming into the picture, and our RSI is climbing, coming from a low of 39 up to 57 right now. Take a look at our 20-day, 1-hour view. Let's get more chart. We've had a change of trend, haven't we? You can see the 200 here was falling. Right here where it went flat, where did we have our breakout? Right on the flat part. That's when most of your breakouts happen. And now the 200 is starting to climb. Now after that big rip, she came back down, which is pushing the 200 down. If you look, you can see she's starting to roll here. All of these MAs were pushing down. But all the MAs have now gotten underneath the price, right? They're underneath it. They're now starting to come up. Here comes the 20. That is going to push the price. When the 20 rises or falls, you can count on the price to follow the 20. And the 20 moves very easily. So right now she's starting to climb. Our 50 is flat. Our 200 is climbing. And our 200 haul is just about ready to go flat. And as soon as that goes flat and starts to climb, I expect a dynamic push on the price. So I think she's setting up with a lot of power behind her right now to take off. Our oscillators, our PPO is climbing. Look at that ADX, folks. The yellow line tells you how strong the dominant trend is. That is as high as it goes. From 0% to 100%. It's at the very top, pointing up. That is super duper strong. And what's the dominant trend? Whatever's at the top. Green. So our uptrend is dominant with a lot of strength. And where's the downtrend line? At the bottom where it's the weakest. So right now I am very confident that we are going to have a strong uptrend. Look at our MACD flying right now, folks. Everything crossing a signal line. Green bars coming into the picture. RSI now is up to 63. Take a look at our 5-day, 15-minute. I'll give you your chart back. Oh, isn't that looking pretty, folks? We had our big jump here to 14 cents. She dipped all the way down to that low of 3.8 cents. She got up on top of the 50. Our 200 haul has turned blue. Right here, she's on the 50, and we're blue, right? Here, it tried. It wasn't enough, but that doesn't mean quit watching, folks. It's still blue. It's still falling. This is an atypical breakout that broke out. Once the price got firmly on the 50, and this was pushing up, boom, we had an explosion. How many times do I show this to you? You getting tired of it yet? I hope not, because it makes you money. Once you got on the 50, we ripped here from 5 cents up to 8.5 cents. You're looking at over 50% run right there. She came back down to the 200, hit that firmly, or maybe it's the 50. I'm not quite sure. In either case, she has bounced. She is floating on her 9-day MA. She's on top of it. Our 20 is just now starting to turn up. That's going to give our price more climb room. Everything else is starting to climb. All of our oscillators are in a climb mode. I don't see any reason why this shouldn't run tomorrow. Folks, this is probably going to keep moving for the rest of today. Probably going to move tomorrow morning. And I can't trade until 7 in the morning, and the market opens up at 4. It could jump. I try to get these to you as fast as I can, but most people want a stock that's ready to move now. And I'm catching stocks that are on the edge of the ledge of a breakout. And as you can see, I catch them just as they're breaking out. So please, folks, put this onto your watch list. Watch it tomorrow. I'm sure she's going to have a lot of volume. Do some more due diligence on that news press about the gold. There was a lot of information in this. You may want to get back into this company after the reverse stock split. Just a thought. Food for thought. Speaking of food for thought, don't forget, folks, the more you know, the more you're going to grow. Yeah. See you, folks.